Alright, so I don't think a lot of modern Marvel fans realize how important this character is that we're doing a Goon video on today. So it's especially important that we run the likes up, because I'm going to be dropping several parts to Conan's Goon series, going through his, up-to-date Marvel feats, as well as some of his classic era shit later down the line. Because some of the stuff he does is hilarious, and he's an absolute menace, as well as has arguments for, like, the GOAT of street tier in Marvel. So, definitely run the likes up. Let's get it to 300 likes, and I'll drop part 2. As well as subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 20K, and it'll be amazing if we could get there soon. That would be awesome. As well as check out my second channel, the Coffee Shop, which has a bunch of videos, which will include a battle today between Cosmic Fear Garu and Prime Rising from Yu Yu. It should be an excellent battle. Definitely go check that channel out. And finally, I hope you guys enjoy. This is going to be an amazing video. Conan's an absolute menace, and if you want to see your favorite character either here or on the Coffee Shop, hit me up on Discord and we can talk purchases. 3 videos right now for 50 is the video package. Can't beat the deal. As well as join the server. It's completely free to do so. And I have all my Star Wars scaling for my Star Wars Versus series in there for free as well. So you can check that out. But let's get right into this. This is Conan vibe checking all of Marvel. I hope you guys enjoy. And without further ado, let's begin. So let's get into what the big barbarian has done over the years. It was at one point that King Conan in recent Marvel comics was having a dream about himself as an old man, right? And the Collector of Souls pulls up on Old Man Conan. The Collector of Souls, basically the bringer of fate, comes for your soul, works for gods. Appears to Old Man Conan for obvious reasons. He's supposed to be claiming the soul of Conan for the gods. Of course, Old Man Conan is not going for this shit. Despite his old age, despite the fact he's fighting an emissary for the gods, old King Conan defies his fate and literally just stabs the shit out of the Collector of the Souls and was like, yeah, back off, pussy. And that's when we see King Conan wake up and be like, oh shit, I'm real to I'm A1 till day one, baby. Like, I'm always gonna be like this. But yeah, the fact he's constantly like denying his fates because he's beefing with gods and sorcerers is crazy, and there's no lack of wild moments like this throughout his runs. Next, we gotta talk, and you'll see in this part 1, Conan's nightmares for several of his ops and just people in general. So we see Kulan Gath has his own personal nightmare, and this exchange occurs when Nightmare pulls up on Conan. If you don't know, Kulan Gath is so OD with magic and so ancient that as a sorcerer, he even scares the shit out of Doctor Strange. So keep that in mind, right? Nightmare pulls up on Conan and he's like, yo, listen, I know the nightmare of Kulan Gath. And Conan's like, well, what is it, bitch? And he goes, it's you. Literally, Conan, the barbarian, is the nightmare of a dude who scales above Doctor Strange in magic. That's absolutely insane. But that's literally how bad Conan wants to run his fade with people. He'll haunt you until the end of time just to beat your ass. It's ridiculous. Now, next we see Conan once again is an op for people in their nightmares. So while traveling, Conan's like, oh shit, like, why do I always get into stuff? And you see one of the Ghost Riders there, right? And he's on, I believe, horseback with a massive chain. He goes, yo, halt right there. You're the barbarian that literally haunts my nightmares. And Conan's like, bro, I I don't know why everyone's so shook of me, but I mean, it is what it is. If we gotta throw hands, we throw hands. But the fact that like he haunts so many people, not to mention the fact they are OD strong and they're still terrified of him, just because he loves to fight and will pull up on them that much, it's just insane. But yeah, even Ghost Rider has nightmares about beefing with Conan. Now let's get back to a feat of Old Man Conan, right? Now he gets into a brawl with a massive red gorilla. Massive red gorillas, of course, are capable of fighting some of the strongest street tiers in Marvel. They're no joke. Well, older Conan's like, fuck the rap shit, take this right hand, bitch, and throws an absolute bomb of a punch, just smashing the face of the red gorilla. And it's stated, like, even though he completely like shattered the jaw and whatnot of the gorilla, rocked this shit, that if it was prime Conan, that punch would have just punched his head off. It would have he would have killed him, put him on a t-shirt. But yeah, even older Conan still has hands like crazy and bopped a massive red gorilla. Now next is one of the most coldest 1v1s you'll see run. Not many characters would dare to do this. I will admit Juggernaut would do this shit because Juggernaut's a savage. But anyways, Conan's connected to a god, right? And through this god, it basically blesses Conan and allows him to go out and fight. He essentially fights in the name of a god named Crom, and is strong through him, essentially, because Crom wants him to be a warrior, and everybody knows, like, Conan's, like, the ultimate warrior. So, he's definitely, like, OD. Thanks, in part, to Crom. And the reason this is important is because at some point, Conan pulls up on Crom, right? And he's like, look, I know you're my god, but if you want to receive thy hands, you can get thy hands. And he literally starts throwing hands with the massive rock giant. And at one point, like, was damaging him and hurt this form of Crom, like cut his fingers, all that. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he literally ran the 1v1 with his god and arguably one of his major sources of power, which is insane. Next, we have Nightmare kind of making a concession to Conan. That's hilarious and just shows how much of a goon he is, right? Nightmare pulls up on Conan and he's like, yo, real shit, it's been tough getting in contact with you, and I'm glad I finally did. And you're probably wondering, like, yo, why is it tough to get in contact with someone like Conan? Well, you see, Nightmare says the reason for that is someone like Conan, a savage like him, doesn't really have nightmares. Like, what the fuck's gonna scare him? He's down to throw hands with anyone. So yeah, scaring Conan's actually, like, mad hard to do, and as a result, Nightmare literally had troubles getting in touch with him. Next, we have a wild, just resolve feat from Conan, right? So, as you guys know, Conan the Barbarian is a warrior from a timeless era, a timeless age, an age forgotten in Marvel 616, the Hyborian Age. And this is an age not many could survive, yet Conan did and is here now. Something crazy he did was he picked up and was toting the Ebony Blade. The reason this is absolutely insane is Conan was just fine with this and able to use it without, like, going absolutely ballistic. Whereas someone like Captain America, who has about as much will and resolve and is a fellow goon, Cap wasn't able to properly bear it. So the fact that Conan can run around with a strap like this and get buckets without compromising himself is top tier goon shit for heroes in Marvel, and just shows how much of a savage Conan really is. Next, we have a wild ass 1v1 that Conan runs. Like I said, Conan is literally known for being the 1v1 god. He'll fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. Doesn't care if you have magic. Doesn't care if you're a mythical beast. It's whatever, you can get the hands. So he runs the 1v1 with the Set follower. This is crazy because a follower of Set was so strong. Khonshu, the moon god, someone who bestowed enough power for Moon Knight to like bully Cosmic Thor. Khonshu needed to assemble a team to even try to fight a Set follower. Yet Conan ran the ones with the Set follower, which is like, it's just disgusting. Like he's an absolute menace that'll run up on anybody. Next, we have another cold ass moment in which Conan robs somebody. Kind of embarrassing for his ops. So as you guys know, in the King in Black arc, with Null invading, symbiotes originally belonged to Null, and as a result, their power and destructive capabilities and possession hacks, all that, become massively increased in this era, right? Well, a symbiote runs up on Conan, tries to take him over. He's like, ah, shit. Like, I didn't think something would run up on me. Conan was so tough and just so like, what the fuck is this? That he rips the symbiote off of him and he's like, yo, understand something. You bend to my will, bitch. Attaches the symbiote to his sword and is like, oh, hell yeah. I got a weapon upgrade. Literally, while these things are running around trying to possess all the big dogs in Marvel, he just casually takes it and adds it to his sword, which was hilarious. Alright, this next one is hilarious, and I'm not gonna lie, not the best look for the boy Iceman, right? So, Iceman runs down on Conan. Big mistake, you don't do that. Well, when he does this, he blasts him, and he's like, yo, you're about to learn, like, the power of one of the strongest X-Men. I don't think you understand what situation you put yourself in. And he blasts away at Conan. Well, he realizes right after Conan didn't give a shit. And as Conan's walking through it, he's like, ah, that felt like home. And he was like, yo, real shit, I'm just glad to see that there's descendants of Ymir here and that they are doing well. And Iceman's like, what the f... And then he goes, yo, who's Ymir? And he just had Iceman shook because he absolutely walked through his blast like it was nothing and called it something that felt like home. Now, next... This is pretty embarrassing for Namor. Namor, as you guys know, he's the king of Atlantis. First hero to fly. Superman stole his swag, don't at me. And he is exceptionally stronger underwater. Like, even caught Mjolnir once. Well, Conan ran down on him. Not only did he run down on him, he ran down on him in water. He was actually, for several panels, able to outright match the strength of Namor in a grappling match as Namor tried to overcome him, and Conan just wouldn't budge. Literally, underwater Namor couldn't budge Conan as he was trying to clutch the 1v1W. Like I said, 1v1 God Conan. It's crazy. Now, finally, and if you haven't hit the like button already, make sure to do so. We have the time Conan ran a 1v1 on all of the worst monsters in history. That's right. So there was this cave that Conan made his way to, and inside of the cave contained basically a gauntlet of all the worst like mythical and just evil monsters throughout all of time and history. And Conan literally 1v1s all of them and clears the cave. Like I said, I mean, at this point, if you're in the live chat, W for Conan being the 1v1 king. He's an absolute monster. But anyways, guys, that is the end of this part 1 to Conan being an absolute menace in Marvel Comics. If you want to see a part 2, let's get it to 300 likes. That would be amazing. And thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.